Hey guys! So excited to be back with another episode of Elevate with Erica. First, I have to thank all of you that have reached out to me or helped share my podcast with others. It means so much to me that you vibe with this and that you're helping me make a greater impact by getting the word out. I so appreciate you, and I love connecting over these episodes. It's always a good feeling to know we aren't alone, right? Today's topic is about asking for help. Whoa, is this a hard one for me? I'm not coming to you as an expert in this area by any means. What I'm bringing today is just my honesty and what I'm doing to try to get better at this. Because we can do anything, but we can't do everything. But damn, girl, sometimes I really wish I could, don't you? But I also want people to want to do it for me. Does that make sense? That sounds so complicated. But perhaps that's just my own issue with feeling let down by a lot of different people in my life. People not showing up the same way that I show up, but that's a topic for another day. What I do know is that our life experiences shape who we are, right? I have a hard time asking for help because I don't want to be let down. And because I was raised to not be needy. About the first one, though, not wanting to be let down. If you're someone who rarely asks for help, when you do ask for help, isn't it the worst when they act like you just asked them to build you a mansion out of pebbles? Or when they half-ass show up to help with half-ass energy and a half-ass attitude? I know I sure do. But guess what? I realized I'm part of the problem because everyone around me is used to me doing things on my own. Think about this. Is that you too? People in my life have adjusted to that. That's the front I put out there. They came into whatever relationship they have with me thinking I don't need their help because I gave them that impression. Then all of a sudden, I reach my limit on something and I ask for help and it's like, wait. What? You want me to what? It's like if we constantly clean up after our kids and then one day we ask them to clean up their own mess, they are going to look at you like you have 10 heads, right? Have your kids done that to you? Like, how, Mom? How do I put the toy back where I got it from? What do you mean? And then you end up frustrated because you're just asking for a simple thing and you blame them for not helping you. But girl, it's not a simple thing, and you have a part in that. You are literally flipping the entire script. Now look, I'm not saying that a friend or loved one not pitching in to help you sometimes is all your fault. But this podcast is all about getting real with ourselves and taking ownership for our part, for what we can control. We can point fingers all day, but that's not going to change a damn thing because you can't change someone else. I can tell you that in my friendships, I don't ask for anything. From my parents, I don't ask for anything. Unless it's Christmas and then Mom, if you're listening, you know I need new workout clothes. I don't ask for anything from my husband. So guess what? When life gets hard, when I was going through my divorce, when I was struggling to run a department from home with my kids on digital learning last spring, when I made the scary decision to leave my corporate job, when money gets super tight, in those situations, it can feel like I don't have anyone to turn to. But I created that dynamic in my life. That's on me. Can I tell you that I wish people in my life had been more supportive during those times? Absolutely. We wish they just knew, right? They just knew how we wanted them to act based on what we would do, but that's not fair. To hold everyone to the standard that they have to be just like you, that sounds ridiculous when you put it like that, right? Do I feel like I would have been more supportive to them in those situations? Yes. But I can't blame them for not being there for me because I've never gave them the impression that I needed them to be. And I say give them the impression, but even that is part of the problem, right? Because we have to use our voice. If you watched my Insta reel I made a few weeks back, it was all about a promise I made to myself this year. That's to start using my voice. I want to say what I need And part of that is asking for help when I know it would really mean something to me. Now, why do I give the front that I don't need anything from anyone? Well, I'm extremely self-aware, and I've spent a lot of time during the last couple years on my personal growth journey thinking about why I am the way that I am. When you know why, you can then address the root of the problem. I don't just read these PD books and listen to the podcasts. I apply them. I love thinking about why I am the way that I am. And it's also why I find other people so interesting, because I love hearing about the experiences that shape the way people think and form their beliefs. The bottom line, I didn't have a lot of people showing up for me. I had my parents and my siblings, and that was it. I didn't have this huge circle of friends or any extended family that was there for me on a regular basis. It was who was in my home, and that was it. So I didn't build that faith in people outside of my home. Now, I'm not pointing fingers at anyone here. What I'm saying, though, is that as a child, I started to internalize that as not being able to expect anyone to show up for me. Like the people that did show up had to, is how I saw it. I don't always feel worthy of it either. I've expected people to be there for things in my life, and they weren't. And that was a shitty feeling. I chose to process that as meaning I'm not worthy of it. That was a choice. It's a choice to victimize yourself. So I stuck with what I know, with who I know will be there for me, even if it's because they have to. And I can tell you, it's about 1.5 people. But I'm learning that I am worthy. I'm learning that if I want people to want to be there for me when I need it, then I have to allow them to be. I have to ask them to be. Hell, even having a birthday party was, and is still today, very stressful for me. My husband will ask, "What do you want to do for your birthday? Who do you want to invite?" And it's like, my parents and my 2 friends, if they're not doing anything. Because if I invite 10 people and 8 can't come, the old me would process that as I'm not worthy of it. So I do the safe thing. Here's the thing too, guys. I'm going to pick at an old childhood wound here. I had the nightmare birthday party happen to me as a child. I don't remember exactly how old I was, but I would guess somewhere between the ages of 7 and 9. My parents were throwing my party. We had the piñata and all. I distinctly remember it was hanging there and waiting in the driveway for people, and guess what? No one I invited showed up. It was literally just me and my parents and my sister. Whoa. May seem silly and surface, but I didn't process it like that. That one definitely hurt. So I've just had various experiences like that, and I've chosen to just not rely on people. It's crazy how our experiences and the way we choose to process them change who we are going forward, right? Something as small as a childhood birthday party had an impact. So if you're someone that has had a hard time asking for help, is it because you feel like you've been let down too much? If not, what is it? Something you've gone through has made asking for help uncomfortable for you. Maybe it's wanting to have control or defining your way of doing something as the only way to do it right. Is that you, sister? Or maybe it's my other reason. I don't want to be seen as needy. So let me just say, my mom is an amazing woman. Like I tell her all the time that she needs to write a book about all the things she's been through. You literally just wouldn't believe her childhood and even her adulthood. Like she's lived like 10 lives. You know what? I just got the best idea. Maybe I should interview her for an upcoming episode. Okay. Mental note and back on track. Squirrel. She is extremely independent. She has so much drive and determination. She's a huge part of who I am today. I also got the sense of humor and goofiness from my dad, by the way, and the business mindset from my stepdad. But yes, my mom raised me to be very independent. She's a really hard worker. There were plenty of nights where she wouldn't get home from work until after dark. She was a busy woman, y'all, always doing for us or other family or working. Now, not every child will process that the same, but I'll tell you how I did. First and foremost, it made me very independent. Like, I didn't want to bother her. If I can do something or at least figure it out, then I'm going to take the time to do so. I've been doing my own laundry for as long as I can remember, which is a great thing, right? We want our kids to be able to do these things. But what I also developed was the habit of not asking for help at a very young age. I didn't want to bother anyone. Everyone is busy. I'm not more important than what they are doing. That is what I said to myself. They didn't say that to me. I chose to process it like that. The good thing about that is that it made me extremely resourceful. I get shit done. I do what I set my mind to do. But then I entered adulthood and relationships, and that's where this got messy. And at this point, I haven't asked for help for so long that now it's actually uncomfortable to. Like, I literally don't even know how to get the words out because I don't want to be seen as needy. I've put being independent so far up on a pedestal because my mom is this amazing, independent woman that I don't want to be seen as anything but that. I don't want to bother anyone. I don't want to ask for someone's time. When someone gives you their time, that's like a gift to me. I don't want to ask for a gift. I'm strong, right? I don't do that. I'm good. I got this. I can figure it out. But you know what? Doesn't it feel good to help someone else? Back to having done my laundry forever. I wanted to do that because I wanted to help my mom. It felt good because I saw her busting her ass. We all like to feel a little needed, right? Like we can contribute. That was how I could contribute. So why are we robbing the people in our lives of the ability to be there for us? Why is the I don't need anyone thing on this pedestal? Like I said at the beginning of this episode, we can do a lot of things. We can do anything, but we can't do everything. And we are only making life harder on ourselves when we try to. So how do you change the dynamic in the relationships in your life now that everyone is so used to you getting shit done on your own? Even if inside you're screaming for help, you're exhausted, you're stressed, you're hurting, whatever it is for you. Well, I have no idea, so that's a wrap. Just kidding. But like I said, I'm not an expert here, but I've done the first step. And that is to recognize why I feel the way I do about asking for help. So I ask you, if you struggle with this, what experiences have made you do this? I didn't say point the finger at anyone else. I'm asking, how did you choose to process things that you went through? What narrative did you choose to take away from that situation and choose to keep as a storyline for the rest of eternity? It was a choice to do that, and it's a choice to change it. You can choose today to change your thinking. You can say right now, starting today, I will start asking for help when that help would really mean something to me. I'm going to give people the opportunity to show up for me. Now look, we can't control who actually does at that point, right? And if they don't, or if they half-ass show up, that has everything to say about them and not you. And if you need to dismiss some one-sided relationships from your life, then so be it. But we also have to give people the chance. So if you're planning to start flipping the script, so to speak, you need to sit down and talk to the people that matter to you. We already said we have to stop expecting people to just know, right? I sat down with my husband at the start of the year and I told him, look, I'm going to start using my voice more this year. This is why I'm not happy and very stressed. And this is what I need to start doing that I think will really help the both of us. I really think this will strengthen our relationship. I hold things in and then I'm angry when people don't just do and say and show up the way I need them to. This is the thing. I don't have many friends probably because I've always had this hard ass shell, you know? And if that's you too, maybe we unintentionally are just shutting people out. A relationship works because both of you are gaining something from it. If you're just giving, that's one-sided, right? And either you're going to end up disappointed or they're never going to prioritize you and they will never show up in the way you want them to because you haven't shown them that you have needs too. So look, we've covered two things, right? We thought about why we have a hard time asking for help, where that stems from, and then talking to the people in the relationships we value about how we would like their help far more than we've let on. And that doesn't make you needy. That makes us human. That also creates human connection. This could improve your relationships more than you ever imagined. From there, you've laid the groundwork, and now it's time to put it into action. And you know what? There's no way to escape the work it's going to take. Now is when you actually have to ask for the help you want. You have to actually get the words out, even if your palms get sweaty like mine do. And doing it over and over and over and over until it gets easier. That's it. Keeping the promise to yourself that you will start asking for help. Type up a note to yourself on your phone or tape it to your mirror stating why you don't want to be the person who has to do it all anymore. Why you want to give people the opportunity to help you. Why this is going to make your life and relationships better. Then you can read that when it comes down to the moment to help remind you and push you to get the words out. Because while this may seem silly to someone who doesn't struggle with this, I'm here to tell you, sister, it is not easy. And I know some of you can totally relate with me here. Like you will literally be falling apart inside, trying to be super mom and rolling your eyes at your husband for not just knowing that you need help. Mamas, have you ever just stepped away, locked yourself in the bathroom, and cried for a minute? And it's in those moments where I'm internally breaking down. And I could make things so much easier on myself if I just spoke up and asked for the help that I needed. Or have you ever juggled 1,000 tasks at work and you're rolling your eyes at your coworker who's just scrolling their phone? You will literally work your ass off and struggle instead of giving people the opportunity to help you. Is that you? Not asking for help and struggling. I get it. That's me. You also end up so disappointed in people too, right? You can't be the stubborn hard ass and also expect people to just know when, how, and where you need them to help you, and then be angry when they don't. You can be proud that you're strong enough to stand alone, but let's also be smart enough to know when we need help and brave enough to freaking ask for it. It's not going to be easy, but you know what also isn't easy? Laying your head down at the end of the night, feeling like no one is ever there for you. Being angry that no one even notices that you're struggling. Sabotaging relationships because you want to hold on to the I can do all this on my own image. You probably can, sister. But guess what? You don't have to. Feel the weight leave your shoulders and say that with me. You don't have to. You have relationships that you don't even realize how amazing they could be because you haven't given the person the opportunity to fully show up as themselves either. So let's do it. Let's open up some doors, girlfriend. Let's allow people into our lives in ways we haven't before. Let's work on this together. I'm curious to hear your takeaways from this episode, so feel free to message me and share with me what you connected with. Share this episode on your social media and tag me, or share it with a friend that you think could take something from this episode too. Cheers to our new strength being asking for help, and allowing a deeper connection in our relationships and recognizing that we aren't meant to do this life alone. Until next episode, friends, E.